All right, so what's going on? Yeah, I'm back, y'all. All right, so hopefully y'all can hear me. Music not too loud or whatever. But yeah, man, today it was a good day. I had a real good day today. I got a lot of insights and stuff like that today. It was like man, it's kind of like what I was telling you in that other reading, where when it seems like things are at its toughest, that's when your blessing is coming. You know what I'm saying? So if things seem like impossibly tough, or it start getting tough or rough or whatever, that just means that your blessing is right there. You at the brink of your blessing or whatever reward for going through whatever you just went through. Okay. That being said, I did see quite a few. I saw quite a few things today that was like, it raised some questions. So today I saw a tapir. I always thought of tapirs as being like a pig, you know what I'm saying? But I saw spiritual animals today, spiritual animal totems today. I saw the tapir. I had to look it up. It was saying something like it's about not being walked over and having to defend yourself. And remember, yes, the last reading that we did, we was talking about spiritual defense and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that tied together. Also, I saw like a little, I want to say it was a fox. So somebody around you could be very deceptive, or could be gearing up for a some kind of trickery, bribery, or some kind of deceit. You know, that seven of sword energy. Okay, five of swords, seven of sword energy is the vibe that I get from it. Mostly seven of sword energy, where somebody is doing whatever it takes to get what they want. Okay. Next, we have which was the moose. So I was watching clouds today, and I did see the moose today, the moose animal totem today. The moose animal totem is about virility. It's about alpha male energy. It's divine masculine energy. It's alpha male energy. Whatever you want to, however you want, whatever context you want to put it in. It's a dominant male energy. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not Lil D energy. It's not the wee wee energy. Man, that's a whole another story for another day. Okay, so yeah. Oh, it's definitely not dry ass pussy energy either. that dap, that dap is not a part of the moose energy. So yeah, that's it's based definitely about you know um masculine energy. Okay. The vibe that I get with the moose has to do with like a alpha male in a sense, or half. Not necessarily like one thing about being an alpha is that a lot of people think that since you're the alpha, you're supposed to be the strongest. You're supposed to have all the answers. You're supposed to be the toughest. You're supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? Just take what you want and everything. That's not what the alpha male originally was. Okay, originally the alpha male was similar to the pharaoh, okay, where he was able to adapt to all situations. Okay, his energy was more, it was in reality more of a feminine energy, because it's like not feminine as in weak, but feminine as in this person is so confident in themselves. It doesn't matter what you bring their way, they know how to address it, cool, calm, collected manner. They know how to they always exerted like a motherly energy in everything that they did. You know what I'm saying? Or not just a fatherly energy, but a motherly energy. You know what I'm saying? Because these people, it's like the pharaohs of today. Most people talk about their kings and their queens and their pharaohs and stuff like that. Well, you got to understand what a king and a queen, what their role is and what their job is, because a lot of people want to be the king and a queen or the alpha male, but they don't do what alpha men and women do. Okay, they don't. They just don't. So, long story short, but we both know it's gonna be a long story. Basically, this is how it works. All right, so with the alpha male energy, originally it was like, the pharaoh was the one who served the people. It wasn't the people who served the pharaoh or the king. It was the king who served the people. Okay? So when it came to like being pharaoh, you were like you existed in you were basically a multi-dimensional being existing in multiple dimensions at one time. Okay? You had to be able to humble yourself and stay connected to the earth so that you could connect with the people, the physical people around you, and find out what your people need. And then, because let's be real, in a kingdom, you didn't always have a mage, you didn't always have a medicine woman or a shaman or a doctor, right? And even if you did, there were problems that went on that most people didn't understand, like why is this happening? And they bring it to the pharaoh, and the pharaoh couldn't just be like, well, that's the way it is. You know what I mean? He couldn't do that like that because he was seen as the person who was supposed to have all the answers and solutions, right? So that's why in the Bible it talk about how, God will pick the king and the queens and all of that. Generally, that's how it works. Whoever the chief deity of that society is, they pick the king and the queen. And that's for a reason, because that king or that pharaoh has to have enough credibility in the spiritual realm and the earthly realm. The spiritual realm, so they can ascend and go higher and, access Akashic records and commune with the gods and get the answers that they need. And then they bring it back down into the world to spread it out. If you ever pay attention to that, Freemason, the statue of Baphomet, where it's like above and below. That's basically what it is. Like or basically, I'll put it like this: the Kundalini. You know how you got the coiling snakes that coil up? One coils up and one coils down. Okay, the energy comes from above and goes around the snake coming down, as the energy from below coils around and goes up, like that, above and below. And so basically when that happens, you take what is in the Akashic records, or you access God, the deities, the Akashic records, and you ask certain questions or whatever, and they channel the messages or the answers through you and back into the earth for the people. You see what I'm saying? Everything was, and that's what the job of the pharaoh didn't stop there. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't the person who had like made it where it was like, slave this, slave that. At first, it wasn't like that. There wasn't even like that. For the longest, there was no king and no queen. It was just that there were certain people who couldn't ascend and ask the deities, or they wasn't. I put it like this. At first, it started with I want to say like the Nayer people of Africa. They used to keep like, artwork of their deities in their homes, and they will worship daily. You know what I'm saying? Their deities, which means each and every one of them had their own divine connection to the divine, right? Well, eventually some people were slacking, I guess. I don't know the whole story, but the way that I see it is that, after a while, maybe that, it changed where it was just like, a few people or one person, hence the pharaoh, who the messages was channeled into. And then after, the whole pharaoh thing, he got consumed with the pharaoh got consumed with the duties of daily living, that they had to have like shamans and mages and witches and, wise men and all these other stuff to take that responsibility off the pharaoh. That way they could focus all their time to pleasing and connected to the Most High Divine, and the pharaoh could focus on the people below. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff transitioned and changed, but originally the pharaoh, his job was to go to the Most High and get answers for the things that people needed. And when the Most High needed to relay a message, they relayed it through the Pharaoh. If the channel to the Pharaoh was blocked, because we were just like television. It's like people are like television channels when it comes to the divine. Okay, if this channel isn't coming in, they'll go to the next available channel and channel that message to them. Okay, to get it to Earth, or get it here so we can, you know what I'm saying? But the Pharaoh's job was never done after that. In Egypt, we see that where the Pharaoh, even in his afterlife, was responsible for protecting the souls of those who have passed on before and those who are getting ready to pass on of his heritage, like his family and stuff. So every day the Pharaoh had to get acquainted with dying every day. Death is something that the Pharaoh get acquainted with every day. And what happened was we got to it reminded us like the sun. So that's where the whole concept of the sun, like the rising and the falling sun and the east and the west, and that's where it all come from in terms of the Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know what I'm saying? Because basically it's like this. It's like every morning, like when you are when the Pharaoh passes, every night the Pharaoh comes alive. Okay, he comes alive at night, and he does it's a prayer. Like in Egypt, it was like there was a prayer that he said every night. A prayer. It's a ritual ceremony. He does the same thing every night. He goes about his people. He checks on his people and stuff like that. And then after all of that is done, by the time he's done with everything, the sun is coming up. He returns back to his grave and dies all over again, only to be resurrected the next day. Okay. So basically, the Pharaoh had to be acquainted with transitions. Okay. So not only was the Pharaoh acquainted with getting answers. Hold on just a second. Okay. So not only was this Pharaoh responsible for getting the answers that was needed for for society to thrive and to, you know what I'm saying, but he was also responsible for watching over his people even in death. A sense of responsibility. Okay, so that means he is not necessarily just in death, but it had something. It was also symbolic of going through multiple transitions. Okay, the Pharaoh had to be someone who was fearless. Okay, so if you imagine like having Pharaoh energy, which a lot of people talk about alpha male, the pharaohs and kings and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? The Pharaoh had to have the energy of all the kings. Okay, he had to have the energy of, if you see it in tarot, the King of Swords, King of Wands, King of Pentacles, King of Cups. He had to have all those energies in one, and we call that the Emperor now, right? But you got a lot of people around here who call themselves kings and queens. I am not upset, and I'm glad that you do call yourself those things. But you are much more than that. However, I got the connection with that, and I dig it, because in reality, the kings, which is what we normally go by, kings, it's very rare that we use the word Pharaoh. We use kings. The king's job was the same as the Pharaoh's. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the kings were like the kings or the pharaohs or the alpha male, alpha female. They were considered to be the gods and goddesses of the earth. They were earthly gods and goddesses. That's what they were considered to be. Okay? The people didn't have to worship them. It's just that when you had a problem or something was going wrong, you brought what was going on to you. They brought the problems to you to have you decide. And as the king, if it's a problem, you had to decide what to do as a king of sword. If it's had like say warfare or something spiritual or something like that, then you had to put on your hat as the king of wands, and so forth and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, certain provinces started adding, like it wasn't until like I would say like Greece, Rome, and you know what I'm saying, that kind of era or whatever. It wasn't until that era that we started seeing the division of the Pharaoh's roles, okay? Where the Pharaoh is only worshipped by everybody, but he has other kings in different provinces that pay homage to him. And they had shamans and stuff like that that pay homage to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, that was the first time all that just, everything just fragmented, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's definitely what that alpha male energy is about. It's about, you know, being, you know, the Pharaoh, you know what I'm saying? People, you know, and let's get to the next one. Also today, I saw the spiritual animal of a wolf, a black wolf, okay? This is yin energy. This has to do with intuition. It has to do with connecting with the yin, the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy. I also saw it in a vortex. So you may be called to channel this feminine energy, this feminine intuition. You're being called to channel this energy or draw it in, or you may be drawing in feminine energy as already, okay? You're already drawing it in. But I'm guessing that your ancestors have some kind of special use for this kind of energy, and it's going to show you how to possibly show you the difference between yin and yang energy, how to manipulate it and swap it out in and out, you know, desire, undesired, yin yang energy and all that other stuff. I don't know. They'll relay a message or whatever, okay? Okay, and I saw quite a few spirits today too. And it was remember I told you about that fox spirit? I also saw like this entity with long like fingernails, almost like needles. And what it does, I guess it like latch on to you or something like that, or it's the spirit of error. And it comes from the I want to say the Pleiadian. I want to say it's the Pleiadian, the constellation of the Pleiadian constellations. You know, the seven sisters, I believe. I want to say it's the seven sisters. This is the spirit of error, is what it was. And basically, it may be something in your life, or you may find yourself in circumstances where precision matters, that this spirit of error may be coming upon you and tempting you. This is a part of spiritual warfare. They're like, this is the spirit of Moloch. There it is, Moloch. And what is it? Moloch and what was the name of the Pleiadian? Yeah, from the Pleiadian era, right? That's the best way for me to explain it, okay? And you know, Moloch was one of the spirits, or yeah, well, I want to say I believe it was Moloch. Yeah, Moloch was one of the deities of one of King Solomon's wives, or would have been wives at the time. There was a woman that was given to him around the time he was building a temple, and this is all in the Testament of Solomon. And he wanted to sleep with this woman so bad, but she said, if he bowed down and prayed to her god Moloch, then she would have sex with him, right? And he just wouldn't do it, right? So one day in the middle of the night, she went to his room and brought him 5 crickets, and she basically told him to do something simple as crush these 5 crickets in the name of Moloch or whatever, or just crush the 5 crickets or whatever. And he did that, and he crushed those 5 crickets. And after that, all the entities and spirits that he had under his control through the power of God were released. All the binds and chains were released from him. So yeah, it was definitely one of those spirits, though. It was the spirit of error, though. And the vibe that I got from it was that it was, it was trying to, I guess, latch on to someone, or, try to, like, you know, get you to make mistakes and errors and stuff like that. So take your time. Definitely take your time. Don't put yourself in a position where everything have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Don't put yourself in that position. It's gonna be chaos. You know what I'm saying? You know, allow yourself to make mistakes, especially for a little while. If you make a mistake, don't take it personal. Like, okay, I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? And let that shit be that, because the longer you dwell on it, the more energy you're gonna give, you know, whatever spirit that was behind it, or, you know, and everything don't have a spirit behind it, okay? So it ain't that creepy shit around here. It's just, that's what I saw. All right. I think that's about it. All right, 20 minutes in, let's get a fucking reading done, right? Okay, so I decided to help you and assist you in your initial when it comes to well, I'm saying a lot, ain't I? Like, what the fuck? Okay, so basically today I wanted to talk to you about the initial estimations of warfare according to Sun Tzu. Okay, and with Sun Tzu, the art of war, he was a Chinese general. Long story short, he was the best of the best, and he has this book out, and I'm going to correlate spiritual warfare with the book of Art of War. Okay, that's just today. Tomorrow I might, after I do this chapter, I might do another chapter or something else, and then I'll make all the correlations and stuff like that, right? So basically, when it comes to spiritual warfare here, if you're going to be on the offensive, there is rules to you being on the offensive. First and foremost, like I said before, it's best for you to have a set up your spiritual defense. Spiritual defense and spiritual cleansing supersedes all things before you engage in spiritual warfare. That's number one. If you don't have spiritual protection, you do not need to be in this game, and you need to find you some. If you don't believe in God, you better have a damn good substitute. I'm just being real with you, okay? Now next, there are five estimations that you need to make before you engage in spiritual warfare that'll decide if you are going to be victorious or if you're going to fall into defeat, especially if you are going on the offensive. If you are being defensive and only dealing with your defenses, there's a less chance that you will take a blunt blow. You know what I'm saying? There's a less chance. And if you do take certain hits, guess what? Don't worry about it, because karma comes back around, okay? Now, if you are going to go on the offensive, these are the initial estimations that you need to make. First and foremost, according to the art of war, you need to know who has the Tao. Who has the willingness of the people to follow you, and like who has the most. The Tao is the willingness of the people to follow you in life and death, okay? So if you are working in a group, or if you're working in a group, it's a matter of who has the most diehards working with them, okay? If you are working alone, it's whose ancestors and spirit guides are the most ruthless. You know what I'm saying? So when you come to ancestors and spirit guides, guess what? It helps to be on good terms with them and listen to what they're telling you, okay? It's good. So next, survival, because let's be real, if I remember I was talking about burning the boat. I don't know if you guys heard that, burning the boat. Well, if you're in a group and you burn a boat and you put the people in a position where they can't return, 9 times out of 10 they're going to fight a lot harder, especially if they don't have anything to return to. You see what I'm saying? If you burn the boat. However, if you do it foolishly, guess what? You lead them into an ambush and it wipes out everybody. Nobody survives. Okay? Same thing with your spiritual team. Same thing with, you know, you working in a group. If you're going to work with other people in this spiritual warfare thing, get you a group of people who y'all down for the cause, or y'all all see eye to eye. Because if not, conflicted views, conflicted ideas, guess what? Throws the group away. Okay. Next, after the Tao, you have the concept of heaven, right? What is heaven? Heaven is basically marked by timing, okay? Timing is everything. Like right now I'm dealing with spiritual warfare, right? Their time that they operate on is 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3:30, 6:30, 9:30, 12:30. Okay? So either our hand is going to be on one of the 45 degree one of the 45 degree marks, or the minute hand is. Okay? And sometimes they alternate, but one thing that I can't count on is the timing. That time is going to be on a rising or falling hand. Okay? Rising or falling. They can't change that. If they do change that, guess what? It'll alter the spell work that they do. Their shit has already been backfiring. So, yeah, I don't think it matters. Oh, man. Okay. So, anyway, timing matters, okay? The same battle that you, let's say that you are working for a factory, right? And you want more money. Is it wise to wait till summertime to ask for more money? Wintertime to ask for more money? The autumn for more money? Or the spring for more money? The answer is the winter. Why? During the winter, if depending on where you live, okay, the timing may be better for you, because when there's a scarcity of workers that are willing to come to work in the winter, first of all, because there's those who are going to show up late because of what? Winter conditions, right? There are people who aren't going to be able to get there because what? They get stuck in the snow. You know, it's all about the timing, okay? So if you were to go on strike around the time that consumption is high, not just because of the winter and the people not showing up to work, but Christmas is also in winter, right? So what you would want to do is orchestrate a strike around a holiday, a high-paying holiday. You working in this factory, let's say you are making toys, guess what? The demand for certain kind of toys is going to go up. The price is going to go, I mean, you know what I'm saying? The demand is going to go up. They're going to need a large supply. They're going to need everybody they can, all hands on deck. Hiring temporary workers, promising people anything just to get these quotas made, right? Guess what? There's a strike. That's called taking advantage of heaven. Heaven is all about timing, okay? When you master timing, I'm not going to say you master the world, but you start seeing things a lot different than what normal is, okay? Timing matters. With the time that you do things matter. The season is the best way to remember heaven. The season that you're operating in, okay? You're not going to fight the same battle in winter that you're going to fight in the summer. Let's be real. Summertime, you might can run over to the shop, grab a couple of herbs and stuff like that, or catch the summer solstice, or catch the Lion's Gate, you know what I'm saying? But in the winter, you might have to catch a couple equinoxes. You might have to catch, you know what I'm saying, different stuff in, you know, the winter. They're not going to fight the same kind of way, okay? Less sunlight, more sunlight, and you have to know how to apply that when it comes to spiritual warfare, okay? Next, you have earth, okay? Earth has to do with the terrain that you're fighting in, okay? That's something that you have to constantly be mindful of. The same battle that you fight on the street isn't going to be the same battle you fight at work unless you're just a real nigga and you don't give a fuck. And that's possible. You know what I'm saying? You just a real motherfucker no matter where you at, and you just don't give a fuck, right? Now there's such a thing as workplace politics, okay? There's such thing as politics in general. How you fight a battle matters just as much as where you fight it at, okay? Where you are dictates how you fight, okay? That's the wise way to do it. Where you are, it dictates how to fight. So spiritual warfare, wherever the terrain is or whatever the terrain is, you have to adjust according to that. You know what I'm saying? If it's a neighbor, you're not going to fight a neighbor the same way that you're going to fight somebody at work, even with spiritual warfare. Okay? Because 9 times out of 10, once you get the desired effect, why is my lip all shiny and shit? I was looking at that like, what the hell? Okay, fuck it. I'm 30 minutes in, fuck it. Okay. So anyway, yeah, you probably look too. Okay, so anyway, the way that you fight warfare isn't going to be the same everywhere. There's places where you cannot fight the way that you want to fight, okay? Same thing with spiritual warfare. Same thing with spiritual ground. You're not going to fight somebody on sacred grounds as you're going to fight with somebody who's on, whatever the opposite of sanctified grounds is. I guess cursed grounds or whatever. Where you fight an individual or where you fight this person or where the battle is taking place dictates how it's fought, okay? And then number 4 has to do with the general, okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to do the general last, okay? Next, the number 4 will be understanding of the rules. Those that understand and can live the rules, or remember I told you, of course I'm going to have to keep reiterating this. So basically, I'm going to put it like this. If you haven't watched my videos up until now, of course I have to break this down. And this is going to be my last time breaking it down. And then I'm just going to, affiliate it with something else. That way I ain't got to keep breaking it down. There's Page of Sword energy where you learn the information. You're smart, you gather information. And you use it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You gather information. You're new to the information, basically. Then you have the Knight of Wands. With the Knight of Wands, you are practicing it. It's becoming intelligence for you, okay? With the Queen of Wands, you are basically administrating it. You're like using it. I mean, don't get me wrong, in the Knight of Wands, you are using it, but you're using it basically according to the way it's supposed to be used. It's more of an anal use, where it's like everything has to be this specific way as it came in a group. I mean, as I learned it. With the Queen of Swords, it's like, okay, I've used it a couple times. I know I could do this. I know I could do that. It's kind of like the concept of water, like the energy of water, because with water is based with experience, where basically it's like, with this queen energy, it's kind of like it comes to you like water. You know what I'm saying? It's an experience that like water, like muscle memory in a sense. And the reason why I say water is because water flows to, through, and around stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you understand information, you be able to use that information any way that you need it to get it, any way you want to use it, any way you can use, any way you want to use it. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand the secrets behind it. Okay? You understand from experience. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, I guess the best way is like a backyard mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the mechanic in the shop know how to fix this same thing, but the backyard mechanic don't have that many tools to work with. And based off of his experiences of trial and error, now he knows how to do certain stuff and take shortcuts and stuff like that in unorthodox ways. Okay, that would be the Queen of Sword energy right there. The King of Sword energy it just becomes you. It's like you just, you become the information. So you don't have to think about it. You just know to do this and do that and do that, and then that's it. You just know this is how it's gonna go. Wait a minute, hold on, let me wait and see how this gonna turn out first. Bop, and then you just you act and do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? You become it. It's your wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So from now on, I'm just gonna refer to it as the Page of Swords energy, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, or King of Swords energy. And that's how from this point on, I'm just gonna do it like that. Anyway, yeah, when it comes to this, understanding the rules, it's best for you to have at least Knight of Swords energy when it comes to it, okay? whoever has the highest, like when it comes to that, whoever has the highest energy has that advantage. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying? If it's a page, like a page is automatically going to lose to all of them. A queen can beat all of them except the king. And a king can beat, is on fair ground with can beat all of them. Okay? Now, let's get back to, that was number 4. Okay? So let's wrap it up. The Tao, the willingness of the people to fight fight with you. Through survival or defeat. Even if their life is on the line, they will still fight for you. Okay? Whoever has that on their side, or whoever has the most support of people that is willing to go above and beyond for them in this cause, you get a point for the Tao. Okay? Next, you have the Heaven. Whoever has the most advantage in timing, you get a point. Next, whoever has the most advantage in the earth or the terrain or the place in which is being fought, you get a point. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because just because you know how to, use magic, spiritual warfare on someone or certain like that, they may outrank you and they may have like a whole cult following with them. You know what I'm saying? Or a coven. Okay, and that's what I was going to talk about today, a covenant. Okay, so yeah, let's wrap this up right quick. So anyway, you got that, and then the last is okay, number 4. We just talked about that, about the rules and regulations. The person that understands it or lives it the best or whatever will get a point in that category. Okay, because remember we was talking about the Page of Swords through the King of Sword energy, right? Okay, so this is the general. Okay, the general is number 5 when it comes to make your initial estimation. Whichever general has the most points in these categories is the one who is definitely has the well, I'll put it like this: whoever has the best general generally wins. Okay. The general has to have 5 traits, okay? They have to be wise. They have to be benevolent. They have to be strict. They have to be, it's wise, benevolent, strict. They have to be courageous. And they also have to be like free to act. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is that a lot of people, like say if you have a general and you give them a directive, it may require them to do something unorthodox, and if they say no, wait a minute, don't do that, and it's like, you made me the general, why wouldn't I do this? You trusted me with this duty, which is my duty to do this. Why are you restricting me now? You see what I'm saying? So with wisdom, they have to understand the concept of advancing and retreat. It's a variety of warfare oriented things that they have to understand as a general. 2, they have to be that's wisdom. 2, they have to be benevolent, which means that it's not somebody who's liked by the people, okay, who's loved by the people or even feared by the people. Loved is best in most cases, you know what I'm saying, but fear works too. Okay. And then you have strict, one who sticks to what they know, have a system, stick to what they know, not somebody who improvise this, or well, not necessarily improvise, but not one who has a shaky character. Okay, character is everything when you're picking your general. The general with the best character is going to win. Okay, because he doesn't have to pretend or alternate his being. You know what I'm saying? What you see is what you get. And you know what to expect of this person, and they know what to expect from you. Okay? Long story short. So anyway, when you make your initial estimations when it comes to spiritual warfare, those are the 5 things that you need to follow. Well, that is advised to follow. Now, let's just draw some cards, all right? Let's see what the spiritual ancestors have to say about this. So the ancestors also talks about the importance of the general here, and it has to do with the devil card in reverse. The reason why your general has to be like that is because they have to be, it is best to have somebody who's been acquainted with darkness and their own evils and their own habits and their own character. I mean, that somebody who's refined their character. Because if you don't, it's like different habits come in. Like, say if you got someone who is your general that has this affinity for women, right? Then you may end up in a position where sorry about that. I thought I saw a woman with long hair behind me. I probably did. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, yeah, mediumship run through my family. Anyway, so what ended up happening is when there is a hole in a person's character, or there's some kind of gap in the character, this allows for darkness to leak in, okay? So if this general has an affinity towards women, there's a chance that this person would do almost anything for a woman, and that could be detrimental. That could be the one thing that you don't need him to do, and it jeopardized the lives of many people because he wanted to pursue women, or because he had a gambling problem, a drinking problem, substance abuse problem, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people like that. It's just that when you pick your general, you want someone who is free, who isn't bound by most of that kind of stuff. Because if you have someone bound by that stuff, it's easy to persuade them. It's easy to motivate them to do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do, even betray their own countrymen, right? Don't want that. Next, you want someone who's capable of walking away from things that no longer serve them. If they are in a circumstance or situation, you want a general that will choose to die or death or humiliation over betraying the people who is in their crew, or betraying certain people regardless of what decision is being made. If you got a general that is afraid of death, that is afraid to be exposed, that is afraid of, their character coming out, afraid of humiliation, that will alter their character or the way that they behave, and they will alter it accordingly in order to be liked, to be, seen pleasurable in the eyes of others. An ass kisser never accomplished anything in life. They barely have friends, okay? And also, this reminds me of, this card here reminds me of, not Marcus Aurelius, but what is that? That other book, The Prince, Machiavelli, Nikolai. I'll call him Piccolo, but it's Nikolai Machiavelli. It's a P. I call him Piccolo. Anyway, this reminds me of his book when he was talking to his nephew, and he told his nephew that people will alliance themselves with you when things are good. Those are the people that you need to beware of. Those who try to befriend you while things are good, or those who make promises to you while things are good. It is those that promise or stick with you when shit has hit the fan or bad. Those are your true friends. Those are your true allies. Those are your true countrymen. Those are the ones who are true to the Tao. Willingness to survive. The willingness to follow you through survival and defeat. And that's what this card is about. Not, knowing when to break away from people that no longer serve you, basically. You know what I'm saying? Not being afraid, no matter what position this person holds, like even if it was going to advantage us in war, and they know that and this general is facing a circumstance where there's traitors among the allies, but they're in greater numbers. Do we keep quiet about it, or do we expose it? What would you want them to do? Win the war first and then expose them? Or would you rather him to, work alongside them? No, you want him to expose them. Walk away from that group. Why? It is better to demonstrate your strength through the elimination of this enemy or this enemy group than it is to allow yourself to be on edge and nervous and anxious on if you're going to be ambushed or not. You see what I'm saying? Because there's betrayal and traitors. You know, long story short, it's hypothetical. I'm going to keep moving. But yeah, you want a general that thinks in that manner, okay? Next, we have the Knight of Cups here. This is someone who is slow, not necessarily fast, but who is benevolent. Like I was saying, benevolent. They take their time when they offer their affection to others. They're careful about the way that they offer their affections to others. And that is important. When you offer your affections to others, as a general, you have to be very careful. You don't want them to think that they could just walk over you, but you don't want them to think that you don't give a shit about them. It's about mutual respect, okay? The thing is that it has to do with like balance. It's like I said, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. This benevolence is on a gradient, okay? Benevolence and strictness has to be on a gradient, okay? And the reason being is because if you love someone too much, you will give all of yourself, or you'll throw yourself at this person. And guess what? They will not respect you. They will call you to fight battles that they could fight themselves. You see? They don't respect you. Same as in the real world. Same as in the real world, real love situation. The people who throw themselves out to other people, they give away their power. Who was that? The 48 laws of power. You know what I'm saying? Keep an air of mystery. You know what I'm saying? Don't always vocalize your intentions. And that's exactly what he does. He doesn't vocalize his intentions, yet his intentions are felt. However, if he didn't give enough, love to his people, or let them know that they are loved enough, people would not want to work with him. They will see him as a tyrant. They may respect him, or they may have a lot of respect for him, but they will see him as a tyrant and be afraid to operate or make mistakes around him. Okay? That's why you have to have a general with the right balance of benevolence. Bitterness, this is not the room for bitterness or personal grudges. That's why it's important that you choose carefully your general. Your general could be the only thing that you have in a warfare. You could be your own general. And the way you are, if you're too strict on people or too judgmental of people, that will keep people from working with you, and that could be the difference between you succeeding in your work and failing. You see? That's why you want to have that right balance to it. I'm not saying I'm the, I've studied a lot. Like I said, I just, dabbled in a lot of warfare stuff. I dabbled in a lot. Dang. Let's see what else comes up. Six of Swords, victory here, right? This has to do with victory and accomplishments and things like that. The general knows how to reward his people when it comes to warfare, okay? When they do something outstanding, when a soldier does something outstanding, the general finds a way to reward that person for doing something courageous and brave. Why? Because in warfare, and this is one thing about warfare, you don't want to fight prolonged warfare. Spiritual wars that get dragged out for long periods of time, it costs a lot. It costs a lot of money, it costs a lot of time, it costs a lot of intentions, it costs a lot of materials, it just costs so much life force wasted, so much mental and emotional energy that's wasted or directed towards something, you know what I'm saying, for a long period of time. That right there, it's damaging. It does damage. Okay? And when it's all over and said and done, you will not walk, neither side will walk away the same. Okay? The general knows that. The general knows that also, if they are going to fight long, sustained battles, it's better to use what the enemy has than to go get his own provisions. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying don't retreat, but what I am saying is salvage what you can from the enemy. The enemy is always like my enemies right now. Guess what they're doing? They're stalking and they're watching, looking for ways to enrich or better themselves. But what they don't know is that they all have mental disabilities, right? Basically, they all are mentally unstable in a sense. So yeah, basically I am fighting like a group home. I'm fighting a group home. I didn't even think about that shit. I'm fighting a whole fucking group home. Could you imagine a fucking angel going in a fucking group home and just like beating everybody ass and shit? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the person I'm dealing with, they not wrapped too tight upstairs, so I'm not really worried about the general talk. I'm not worried about it. What they gonna do? Do candle magic at 9:30? Oh wait, 9:45 because I know about it. I'm gonna do candle magic on you. Oh my god. Oh Jesus. Oh boy, anyway. Okay. The general rewards is those who get, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. The general know how to reward his troops and stuff like that for a job well done. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I have so much stuff lined up, but I don't know. Oh yeah, let's see if we can get a Native American card here. Spirit Keeper of the North. And look at this. This has to do with winter right here. Has to do with winter. Spirit Keeper of the North. Okay. So in Christianity, spiritual work, it's like the North is affiliated with Earth. It's affiliated with the Archangel Uriel. But because this card has like the winter and stuff on there, it probably has something to do with dormancy, okay? This may be a time to rest, recuperate, drink a lot of water, cleanse your energy, get your, you know, and I keep saying the same shit over and over again. You know what I'm saying? But it's best to get your, you know, drink a lot of water to cleanse, to purge your aura, your auric field. Purge. It has something to do with purging. The bear goes into hibernation. This is a time to recover and recuperate. Okay? Especially for, you know, those who are in this reading. And also the ancient forest. The ancient forest is basically the vibe that I get from this is like the Akashic records or ancient record halls. Because when you go into the ancient forest and you start connecting to, like, you know, trees and stuff like that, like, it grounds you out, no doubt, but you also get some kind of clarity that comes in, you know, by being in and within nature and stuff like that. You do get that, okay? Let's see what else. I'm gonna pull like 3 more cards, and whatever it is, I'm just gonna affiliate it with it. Maybe the same book or a different book, and we're gonna keep it moving, okay? Okay, so you got the 5 of Cups here. This has to do with depression, morality. Your moral support is very important in spiritual warfare. You have to find a way to uplift your own spirit, because the thing is that you can't count on having the same support. You can't count on having support at all times to uplift you or keep you optimistic. So you do have to know your own love language. Once you understand your love language and how you love other people, practice doing that on yourself. And that right there will help you with this energy right here. Combat that energy right there. Okay? Love language is important. People discount it. And, you know, and the thing is that those who don't have love language, I don't know what to tell you. You better find something, I guess. Next, the ancestor has to do, remember the Tree of Life? That's going to be the next reading. I'm going to do Tree of Life spread or just do I'm just gonna tap into the tree of life and um, just a little information here and there about the tree of life. You know, so I'll be studying that all day tomorrow because I remember some of it, but I don't remember all of it. And maybe Spirit is going to have me pick out certain parts of it to talk about. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Okay. And last but not least, you have the fool in reverse. Okay. One thing about being in spiritual warfare or being a general or even just a soldier on the field, you're going to be in situations where you have to burn the boat. Okay. You're not going to be free to move forward. You may not be have a lot of freedom to move backwards or forward. Okay? So it's important that you have conviction. Stick to your character. Have conviction in what you decide to do with your life and what you decide to do in this warfare. But all in all, all of this information is only about those who are actually taking the offense. Because the thing is that, we don't always have to take action in spiritual warfare. Okay? And another thing, just a heads up, if you are, fighting a group of people, one thing that I learned from what I'm dealing with and what I'm fighting is that there is always one spirit, one mutual spirit that is connected to the entire group. One mutual spirit. Okay? The reason being is because there's multiple spirits operating in one group. It causes conflict. Okay? So if you are fighting with spiritual warfare and it seems like everyone is harmonized or in harmony, chances are there's one spirit involved or one entity involved. Okay? If it's a lot of chaos and things are just chaotic and improvised, there's multiple here. Okay? The circumstance I'm dealing with. Yeah, I know. I hear it. I say that a lot, don't I? I do believe that somebody opened up a portal that they did not close properly. I do believe that somebody was playing with a Ouija board, and I do believe that somebody did open the portal for something to come in that they could not get rid of. Okay, and reason why I say that is because I did see bottles hanging in the tree at their houses. And when you have bottles, when you go over to somebody's house and they got bottles hanging out the tree, that right there is to keep evil spirits away. So you might have a conjurer, it might be a conjurer in that area, or they might be engaging in spiritual warfare with somebody. You know what I'm saying? In my circumstance, it was somebody who tried to conjure some shit and it failed. And guess what? The motherfucker ended right back at that motherfucker house. Chilling on the couch. Sleeping on their twin bed with her. He was sleeping on the twin bed with him. The motherfucker woke up and said, huh? Saw that conjuration bitch on the end of his bed. Oh boy. The motherfucker ain't had no sleep in weeks. Man. Get my Palo Santo corking. Man, I needed this laugh today, man. I don't know about y'all, I'll be needing this laugh because the kind of work that I do, I don't get to interact with too many people and stuff. So, when I do get a chance to do the videos and stuff like that, it give me a chance to laugh some shit off, and it is what it is, Anyway, I think that's all I got for the in terms of spiritual warfare. It'll get a little more intricate. Basically, right now, I'm going to look up the Tree of Life, all over again. But I guess, I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a random book. It ain't going to matter what book it is. I'm just going to pick a random book, and then I'm going to see what the spirit guides want, and let that tell me what the spirit guides want me to talk about in terms of spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? Now that I think about it, I got quite a few good topics to talk about, and I'm gonna talk about them probably tomorrow or the next day. Anyway, I just want y'all to know I love y'all. Have a blessed night. And keep them bottles out of y'all trees. And yeah. Don't be in a behavioral place fighting people fighting people with mental disabilities who want to do magic on you. Don't ask.